Indu ma'am,
Yes.
can I start ma'am or 5 more minutes to wait?
1 more minute, 1 second.
One second. Okay.
I think we can start.
We can start ma'am?
Yes.
Yes ma'am. A very good evening to all the participants present here. I once again warmly welcome you all to the day 2 of the webinar series. A webinar on entrepreneurship development has been organized by our college, Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences, Bengaluru. Today morning, we had a first session on funding opportunities for entrepreneurs by Dr. Prasanna. The second session will be engaged by Professor Manoj Kumar Mishra sir. I am delighted to introduce the resource person for this session, Professor Manoj Kumar Mishra sir. He is a well-known academician and researcher. He has 20 years of versatile experience of teaching, research, and administration in India and abroad in the capacities of Dean, Director, Vice President, and Professor. Currently, he is a professor at the College of Business and Economics, Salale University, Fitche, Ethiopia. He's also the secretary for Forum for Interdisciplinary Research Methods and International Association of Research Methods Professionals. He has done double master degrees, MA in Economics, MSc in Statistics. Professor Mishra sir has done PhD in Economics from Magad University, Bodh Gaya. He has been awarded with 3 honorary degrees like Honorary DSc, Economics and Multidisciplinary Research from Florida, Honorary DLT in Econometrics from USA, and Honorary DSc in Management from United Kingdom. He's a gold medalist and champion in academic and research world. He has published about 150 research papers and articles in national and international reputed journals. He has 15 patents concerning to data analytics, economics, and econometrics. He has authored 3 books for PG level on his credit. Dr. Mishra sir has chaired, co-chaired, delivered more than 200 invited lectures as keynote speaker, guest speaker, and eminent speaker in national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops. He's a member of editorial board and reviewer of more than a dozen of journals. Now, I request Dr. Mishra sir to kindly present his talk on entrepreneurship as tool for global development. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity in 1 day in 1 week faculty development program. So today I will deliver on the entrepreneurship as a tool for global development. So I feel proud to be the part of this. 1 minute I am sharing. So, okay. So first of all, Honorable Chairman, Secretary, and the Director of the Padam Shri Institute of Management and Science, Bangalore, the convener of this 7 days workshop, Dr. Indu, and all the faculties and staff member of this institute, prestigious institute, and all the students and all the staffs member and delegates from the different parts of India and other countries. So I feel proud to be the part of this 7 days workshop on the topic entrepreneurship developments. So today I will discuss about the entrepreneurship as a tool for the global development. Actually, this topic is important because in this world, this time employment and employability is a big issue, not only for the uneducated people, but particularly more for the higher education. In higher education, employment and employability is going to become the big issue, particularly in the developing and underdeveloped country. And therefore, I think that this topic is very, very important, and it will be fruitful for the generation of employment through entrepreneurship, self-employment, employment creator, and giving the employment to the others also. So this topic is very nice. So in today my lecture, I will discuss about what is entrepreneurship and development and its sustainability. What is development and how we can sustain the development for the long time. In spite of this, I will discuss about the global development present scenario. What is the scenario of development in different continents of the world, and what is the entrepreneurship role in the context of global development, all those things discuss. Entrepreneurship and factors of production I will discuss, and entrepreneurship and technique of production I will discuss, that what techniques entrepreneurship are using and that is fruitful for the world development or not. I will also discuss the entrepreneurship and Schumpeter theory of development and entrepreneurship in primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector, like the role of entrepreneurship in the agriculture sector, industrial sector, and tertiary sector, service sector I will discuss. In spite of this, I will discuss about the entrepreneurship and center periphery model, that is the important model of development. And finally, I will discuss the entrepreneurship in the India and world as a tool for viable and justifiable development. All those issues I will discuss in today my lecture. So, Chanakya Niti, it has told that Udoge nasti daridram, japato nasti patakam, maunena kalaho nasti jagrite bhayam. In Hindi we can say, जहां अनेक प्रकार के उद्योग धंधे स्थापित होते हैं वहां गरीबी नहीं होती है। परमेश्वर का नाम स्मरण करने से पाप नष्ट हो जाते हैं। मौन धारण करने से कलह नहीं होता, तथा जो व्यक्ति सदा सतर्क और जागरूक होते हैं उन्हें किसी प्रकार का भय नहीं होता। Means there is no poverty where there are many industries. The place there are many industries, there is no scope of poverty at that place. And when we take the name of the Almighty God, there is no sin. This is important. And if we maintain the silence, there is no scope for quarrel. And where people are alert, planning and thinking for the future and watchful, there is no fear in the future. So all those things are very important, and that shows the importance of entrepreneurship industries. So entrepreneurship is related to the establishing the industries, doing the business or opening the industries, doing the new things also, that is the entrepreneurship. That is related to the business innovation, new methods of production, new techniques of production, finding the new things, and it is still that innovation is the engine of development. That is important for the development, and investment is also required in is entrepreneurship because investment is the application of money for earning the money that is important and that tends to the employment to all factors and job creator. So entrepreneurship is related to the business, it is concerning to the innovation, it is concerning to the investment, it is concerning to giving the employment to all the factors of production concerning to the land, labor, capital and organization also. Not giving employment to the laborers only, laborers get employed, land means all the natural resources get employed, labor get employed, capital get employed, and people of the society get employed, and it works as a job creator in the society. So this is important. But one thing is very important while doing the entrepreneurship, that is the profit and social welfare. A entrepreneurship should not always think for the more profit. If they think more profit, that becomes greed, and greed can never be maximized. So while profit and should be concerning to the social welfare also. As an entrepreneur, they should try to get the profit, but optimum profit, and that should be related to the social welfare also. Otherwise, the business will be damaged in the future. If there will not be social welfare, if there will be conflict between individual interest and social interest, the business will be damaged in the future. And one thing is also important, entrepreneur is a role model for society. We should respect the entrepreneur who is the role model of society, and we should give the respect to the entrepreneur in the society. That is very, very important. So now I'm discussing the dimension of development. What is difference between growth and development? Generally, growth means increasing the per capita income of a country, while development is a broad concept which is concerning to increase the per capita income. In spite of this, life expectancy, literacy rate, and modernization of economy and infrastructure, that is concerning to the development. The desired growth is called development. There should be the modernization of the country, modernization of the world, and the benefit of development should reach to all the people of society. It may be there may be rich or there may be 12 people, any type of people of society, they should get the benefit, that is the development. So in the minds of sociologists, in the mind of economists, in the mind of environmentalists, in the minds of leader, in the mind of industrialists, in the mind of engineers, common people, labor, the meaning of development is different. Some people think that Mahatma Gandhi was thinking that simple living and high thinking is development. But in the modern world, we are accepting that high living and high thinking is development. And some people think that only high living and simple thinking is development. This is not development. So actually, we can say that high living and high thinking, particularly the high thinking, is more important in the development with the high living. This is important. And it should be concerning to the modernization of the world, that is related to all the infrastructural facilities should be every part of the world, that is the development, like the water facilities, sanitation facilities, hospital, road facilities, every facilities, consumption facilities, every facility should be good and the quality should be good. That is called the development. And that should be related to the inclusive growth. The benefit of development should go to all the people of society, all the section of society. If a poor people should also get the benefit, the life standard should increase. That is the very important. And finally, it goes to the sustainable development. But sustainable development is going to be questioned in the future, because what is the rate of development and how you are utilizing the resources. Uh, I think that in the coming days, after 20, 30 years, some of the resources will not be in the future. So there will be question on the development, particularly the energy. There will be the problem of coal, petroleum, and water in the future. So it can pose a question on the developments. So the main thing is that need is important, Then need from this profit is important, but if we transfer from profit to the greed, this is not important because the greed can never be maximized. This is the big question before the development of world economy. So what is the global development present scenario? I am explaining some. There is asymmetrical development in the world on the continent basis, on the country basis, on the state basis, on the region, even in the family basis. There is a asymmetrical development. As we see that the North America is highly developed in every sphere: human resource, literacy rate, per capita income, utilization of resources, productivity, education, employability, everything. North America is highly developed, while South America is not developed. As we discuss about the European countries, they are developed countries, while in the case of Asia, only some countries are developed. Australia is a developed, while in the Asian country, most of the countries are undeveloped or developing countries. In the case of African country, they are the underdeveloped countries. Most of the African countries are the developing and underdeveloped country. So we are seeing this. In the case of India, we can also see that state level also disparity. Some states are high income states, some states are low income states. Region level also, family level also. Even in a same family, there are four brothers, and one brother's income is very high, and some brothers' income is very low. Not only in the parameter of income, living standard, consumption level, saving level, employability level, education level, all the parameters of development, there is a difference. So generally we see that North America is rich, while South and North world is rich, while South world is poor. In the South world, only the Australia is rich. So on the basis of urban and rural areas, we also see the disparity. In the urban areas, the infrastructural facility is high: hospital, road, medicine, education, income, employment, employability, all those things are high. Industrial settlement, all those things are high. While in the rural areas, they are lacking the electricity, road lacking, house facilities, employment facilities, a school, college, market, everything we are lacking in the rural areas. Of course, in the rural areas, there is most chance of entrepreneurship. So now the rich and poor, the gap between rich and poor is also increasing very fast. This is the important scenario in the global. And there is problem on the green economy and green development. We have seen that at the COVID time, most of the country got damaged and economy got shut down in the COVID time. So this is not the green economy. The GDP declined, becoming negative. Industrial sector got shut down. Service sector got shut down. Why this happened? What is the reason? How it can be cured through entrepreneurship? What can be the proper solution? Because it is not the green development. Green development means development should be always sustainable, and green economy should be laughing all the times. But at the COVID time, it was very cruel, cruel situation, and economy was got fell. This is the big issue also. So I am telling about the some richest entrepreneur in the world, Jeff Bezos. He is a dollar 32 billion. Larry Page, this given, so you can see this Larry Page, then Michael Bloomberg, Sheldon Adelson, Larry Ellison, Emerencio, and Carlos Bill Gates. They are this situation, their income in the world. So what is Adam Smith is saying about the entrepreneurship? Adam Smith is saying believing on the laissez-faire policy means work and make work to another, live and make live to another. Do your work and make others free, they can do their work. He was believing in this policy, and he was saying that man is guided by his self-interest. He told that he wrote a book on the an inquiry to the nature and causes of wealth of nation. In this book, he has told that man is guided by his self-economic interest, and man is the best judge of his self-economic interest. There is no conflict between individual interest and social interest, And if it is conflicted, it is corrected by invisible hand. Adam Smith told you. So Adam Smith is saying that if you are trying to generate your own income, to generate more and more your interest, you are interested to increase your more interest, personal interest maximization. It does not conflict to the social interest if you work good. But if you work bad manners, it conflict the social interest. So conflicting the individual interest and social interest is not good. So by the good way, we should earn, and entrepreneurship doing in the good way, it cannot conflict between individual interest and social interest. I'm saying this. So social interest is also important while doing the business. Your objective is profit maximization. Yes, I agree with this, or optimize the profit, but you should not damage the social welfare, social interest. That is also important because you are getting each and everything in the society, all the raw materials, all the inputs you are getting from society, and you are selling your product in the society. So when you getting the benefit from the entrepreneurship, you should work for the society, and you should not be so much individual interest focus. This is important. So if that will be, it will be corrected by the markets. So what is the role of entrepreneurship in the global development? That is important. First, it tends to the employment generation. There will be employment. The entrepreneur are the employment creator, not employment seeker. They create employment for themselves and they give employment to the others also. That is the beauty of the entrepreneurship. And wealth creation and sharing, that is also important, and it tends to the balanced regional development. If entrepreneurship is developed in all the parts of the world, this time we are seeing that entrepreneurship is concentrated only in the some parts of world and not in all the parts of world. This is the problem. In the case of country also, it is concentrated only in some region of the state and some cities of the state, and this is a big problem. So this is a big problem. So this is the big problem, and it should be solved by the proper development of entrepreneurship in all the parts of the country and all the parts of the world also. So it will tend to the GDP increase, per capita increase, and a standard of the people will increase to entrepreneurship, export will increase, and there will be the community development, means different facilities will be given by entrepreneurship. Suppose that entrepreneurship is opening the colleges, the schools, hospitals, hotels, park, all those things. So the community will also get benefit from these things. Now, entrepreneurship and factors of production. How entrepreneurship is affecting the factor of production. A taste of the factors of production in developed and developing countries. So we discuss all the factors of production in the context of developed and developing country. Land means all the natural resources. Okay, so in the developed country, all the natural resources are utilized properly, while in the underdeveloped country, all the natural resources like soil, water, mountain, forest, coal, petroleum, bauxite, every natural resources are not sunlight, are not utilized properly in the underdeveloped country. It is said that in the context of India, India is rich, but Indians are poor. India is rich, but Indians are poor. Why it is said that India has more land? More land means natural resources. The water is good, soil facility good, forest, mountain, sunlight, everything okay. Minerals, all things are okay, but they are not able to utilize this properly. As a result, the Indians are poor. So entrepreneurship is what? Entrepreneurship is not concerning to the employment of the human being, not concerning to the employment of human also. It is concerning to the employment of all the natural resources, all the labors, capital, organization, entrepreneur, all. So as far as it is concerning to the labor, in the underdeveloped country, the population is high, but it lacking the human resource. Human resource means the population should have the employability. As we see that in the developed country, the employability rate is 80%, 85%, 90%, while in the underdeveloped country or developing country, the employability rate is 10%, 12%, 15%. Employability means After getting the education, the person, the youth is suitable for the employment or not. This is the big issue. Particularly in the higher education, this is going to be big issue. The youth today doing the PhD, MSc, MTech, BTech, MBBS also, and they have no employability, not suitability for the job. In the case of India, the employability rate is only 13%, 13%. This is a big question. So labor is a big question on the employability. We have the population, but we are lacking the human resource. The population does not know how to use ourselves. Even educated person, after getting the higher degree, they are not able to create his own employment. They dependent on the other for the employment, and this is a big question for the society, for the nation, for the government also. Capital are also not utilized properly. Some people have the capital, but they are lacking the knowledge of financial literacy, how to use the capital, where to invest the capital. So what is the cost of capital? What will be the return of capital? How to maximize the return? This is a big question. And organization, many organizations working, a group of people. Organization means a group of people working together to achieve the same objective, and they require the training, and entrepreneur is the active factor of production who makes all the factors of production properly used. This is the very, very important in this case. So in spite of this circular flow of goods and capital and labor, a global perspective I am discussing. So what is the circular flow of goods? The goods and services flow all over the world as a circle, and labor also flow, capital also flow. So flow of resources is not strong at the global level. We are generally see that from the underdeveloped country, the raw materials are flowing to the developed countries. This is the problem also, lacking the entrepreneurship and lacking the proper investment in the underdeveloped country. Land, labor, capital, and people, organization, all flow is very big problem. We are seeing that the labor is flowing from rural areas to urban areas. Why? This is the migration flow of labor from rural areas to urban area. The labor are going to the urban area from rural area in search of employment, in search of education, in search of medicine, in search of other facilities also. So this is the big questions. Big questions. We see that in the four sector economy, this is a problem. The consumption sector, the production sector, the government sector, and the external sector. So generally from the consumption sector, the people go to the production sector. The land, labor, capital, all the factors of production go to the production sector. They work there and they get the wages. They get the money. And after coming home, they again go there and they purchase the product and bring the product and give the money also. So this flow is going on in the case of world also. So some country, maximum countries of the world are dependent on the another countries are also feeling this. If you see the African markets, many economy we see the foreign goods. Suppose in many countries in the Africa, we are seeing that the foreign products are coming there and the price level is quite high. Why this happen? Because they are lacking the agro-based industries also. They are lacking the small scale industries. They are lacking the micro, medium, and MSME also. Everything they are lacking. They are not capital, not utilizing the resources properly. And this is the big question. So we are seeing the asymmetrical flow also from the rich and poor countries. From the rich countries, the manufactured goods come to the poor countries. From the poor countries, the raw material goes to the rich countries, and this is a big problem for the development. If they develop the entrepreneurship in their own country, there was no need of this situation. So in spite of this labor and employment, the division of labor, I am saying that a book in the finance, the name of the book is Rich Dad and Poor Dad. A book in finance, the name of finance book is Rich Dad and Poor Dad. According to this book is saying that there are only two classes in the society: a rich class and poor class. Poor class means the person who work for money. Poor means labor class. They are the job seeker. Job seeker means poor class, and poor class work for money. Rich class means job creator. job creator. They invent the money and money work for them. So in the case of any country, if we discuss that, how many percentage person are in the rich class? Maximum percentage are in the poor class. They are searching the job, searching the job. They are job seekers. They are not the job creator. So only not uneducated people, educated people are also maximum after getting the good education, good degree, they become the job seeker, and this is a big problem. So this is also a big problem. Job seeker is a big problem. So in entrepreneurship will tend to the job creator and job giver, and it will be utilization of the resources. This is the importance. So now in the context of local, global, and local, that is a very, very important how to do. So abnormal work with normal people. In entrepreneurship, if we give the training of the entrepreneurship, the normal labor will work the abnormal. Normal people can work abnormal. This is the importance. And go global with local resources. That is the importance. It will give the good scope or the utilization of local resources. Local resources will be optimized, will be utilized properly. All the resources local will be utilized properly, and at a case the business will grow. They will find their employment at home. No need to go outside in search of employment. You can create your own employment. Employment will come to your home. This is the important, and you can live with family, live with relative. No need to go outside. It will check the migration from rural areas to urban area. And in the COVID time, we have faced the problem when the COVID came. Many people remigrated from urban to rural areas, and in the rural areas there was the lack of employment. So if we develop the entrepreneurship in the rural areas, there is no need to go outside the villages. So why not cities type facilities in the rural areas, not in the village area, all the facilities? This is a big question. And if entrepreneurship is developed, this problem can be solved. So Schumpeter has given the theory of innovation, and Schumpeter has told that innovation is the engine of growth. So what type of innovation? What type of innovation is required according to the super? The Schumpeter is saying that introduction of a new product, new goods is required. Introduction of a new product, new सर बाहर आप नहीं जा सकते हैं क्या? So introduction of a new goods, new product is required in the case of the Schumpeter innovation theory. So introduction of a new methods of production is required. Opening of a new market, it is required. We are seeing that this time we are selling the water. How it is possible? This is by the innovation. And conquest of a new source of supply of raw material. This is a very, very important. We are seeing that new supply of raw materials. This is the innovation. If you are finding the new methods of production, finding the new product, finding the new raw materials, and carrying out a new organization, new industry in the proper good guidelines, I think that it will be the development of society, and it will be the innovation, and finally the employment will be created. So now at the global level, we are seeing that what is the relationship between GDP, employment rate, and population growth. So population growth rate, we are seeing that it is increasing at geometric rate 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 like this. While the employment growth rate is the arithmetic rate 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So there is high gap between population growth and employment growth. Population becomes 2 times while employment increases at the arithmetic rate. This is the problem. So we are seeing that the GDP growth rate is high. The GDP growth rate is high while the employment growth rate is low, and that tends to the jobless growth. This is the problem. So it increases the gap between demand and supply of labor. The GDP is increasing, output is increasing, but employment is not increasing. Why this is happening? This is happening due to the profit motive of the entrepreneur, of the capitalist. They are thinking that in the place of labor, they will more and more utilize the capital because the cost of capital is low, while the cost of labor is high. So this is not a good thing. So it is increasing the demand and supply of labor in the society. If they use the labor more, capital less, of course, the cost will some increase, but the supply of labor will increase. But in this case, we are seeing that population is increasing, but job is not creating in that rate. So it is going GDP also increasing. That is related to the jobless growth in the society. This is a big problem. Growth. So what are the growth rate determinants? So we are seeing that innovation is the engine of growth, and labor are migrated. Labors are the factor of growth. Innovation is the engine of growth. Capital is the determinants of growth. Technology determines the growth, and proper management determines the growth. This all determines the growth. So what is the use of entrepreneurship in the primary sector? In the primary sector, we are seeing that in the case of India, about 64% workforce depend on the primary sector, while the role of primary sector means agriculture sector is only 15%. So the share is very low. So the per capita income in the agriculture sector is very low, while the per capita income in the tertiary sector is high, service sector is high, even the industrial sector is also high. So if we develop the agro-based industries, there is a heavy chance of, there is big scope of the development of agro-based industries in the rural areas. So we are seeing that we can develop the agro-based industries in the rural areas. We can develop the animal husbandry, fishing, lumbering, and it will tend to the agro entrepreneurship in the rural areas, and it will give to the more and more employment. As a result, the production will increase, the productivity will increase, the income will increase, the living standard, consumption level of people in the rural areas will increase, and it will solve the problem. When we calculate the national income of India, we find that the national income is low. Why this is low? Because of the rural areas. In rural areas, very poor performance of agriculture. Most people, why not industry develop in the rural areas? This is the main case. So if we develop the entrepreneurship in the rural areas, particularly the agro-based industries, why problem will not be solved? So the government should focus on this. The government should help the industries in the rural areas. There should be tax free, and the government should provide more and more facility to the rural areas. As a result, the problem can be solved. So these are the cases. Now in the case of secondary sector entrepreneurship, so manufacturing sector is very important. It should be developed more and more in the case of India also, not only in the cities, in the rural areas also, the manufacturing sector should be developed. There should make the many industrial hub in all the parts of the country, so that the north and south gap will decrease. Why not more manufacturing sector in the south world? Why not more manufacturing in the rural areas? Why this is more in the urban areas? This is a big problem. Developed versus underdeveloped countries, this is also the problem. In the underdeveloped countries, we should increase more, particularly the construction industry is required to more, infrastructure should be developed more, determinants of investment and employment. These are the very important, because investment is determined by the proper infrastructural facilities. So infrastructure sector should be developed by the government, or the more investment. Not only the public investment, the private investment will increase. If infrastructure will be okay, the private investment will increase in the rural areas. We are seeing that the capital from the rural areas drain to the urban area. We are seeing this time. Why this happening? Why not investment in the rural area? So if it investment in the rural area, of course, the employment will increase, and that will tend to the society. So entrepreneurship and tertiary sector, question on the quantity and quality of service sector. This is a big problem in the case of India, and lacking in villages. Service sector are very lacking in villages in the case of India. No market, no financial, no hospital, no college, no facilities in the rural areas. This is the main reason there is a big migration from rural areas to urban areas. So all those things are lacking in villages. Not villages, particularly in the case of developing country and underdeveloped country. When you go to the villages of developed country in America, when you go to the villages, all facilities are yes. In the village, you will find the hospital, you find the university, college, market, everything, hotel. Everything you will find in the rural areas in the America. Drainage system nice, road is nice, drainage system below the road, light facility on the road, everything, library, school, college, everything in the rural areas. But why not developing in the underdeveloped or developing country? This is a big question that is concerning to the hospitals, hotels, shops, tourism, transport, banking, insurance, education, all things it is required to develop in all the parts of the world, in all the parts of the country, in all the parts of the region. That is the importance. One concept is concerning to the center periphery model of development is saying that area of development is called the center and supporting area of development is called the periphery. Suppose the Bangalore is the center and near the area of the Bangalore is called the periphery that support the development of Bangalore. So there is need to increase the size of center. Size of center should increase and the center should be made in all the parts of the country, all the parts of the world, particularly in the backward area. Why not becoming the center? We should develop the center of development in the backward area. That will tend to the development. As a result, the size of the center will increase and diversification of centers through entrepreneurship. If we work more and more on entrepreneurship at the local level, I hope that I am sure that the center of development will increase and it will tend to the proper development. As far as entrepreneurship in India, the mindset of people is not for the entrepreneurship. Generally, we think that Gujarati and Sindhis are more believing in the entrepreneurship, and so there is high development there. Quality of education is not up to date. The people are being educated, only educated, but not. They are getting the employability, lacking the employability. This is a big center. There is a big problem. So quality of education should be based on the application, a skill development. We more focus on the knowledge and less focus on the skill generation and attitude generation. That is a very, very important in the case of quality of education. And training centers should be developed, that should be open. Already the government is working in India national skill national skill development center. So the people are getting training. But in the new education policy, the government has started more focus on the skill development and attitude development also. So this is a good step in the case of India. And Atmanirbhar Bharat is also a good step for the development of rural areas. This is okay. So educated and uneducated, what is the difference? This is a big problem. Educated problem also facing the employability, uneducated also facing the employability. So educated people should get more skill. So there is need to, a startup is also going in India more focusing and it should be increased more. New education policy is a good step in this direction. It questions on the implementation. New education policy is good. They're focusing on the skill development and attitude development, but implementation, I am thinking some problem. The mindset of people should be changed for this purpose. So now we think about the entrepreneurship as a viable tool for the development, and we think that for this they should be given the education of the organizational feasibility. That is important. Technical and operational feasibility, like the location of the plant is important, layout of the plant is important, layout of the product is important, at the low cost, the input combination, there is need of the training. Financial feasibility is important, that is concerning to the profit and loss, revenue and expense of this profit and loss account, balance sheet, all those things are important. Standard costing is important, and economic feasibility, that is concerning to the feasibility of the national level, like the GDP, what is the impact of this entrepreneurship on the GDP? Of course, entrepreneurship will increase the GDP and welfare of the people, that is important. Cultural and environmental feasibility, we should do while we should work on the we should study on the development of entrepreneurship. So what are the requirements? Requirement is that entrepreneurship education should be given to all. There is need to develop the entrepreneurship education. It is required to develop. Training center is required to develop in all the parts of the world. A skill development focus. Innovation should be focused. Employability or employment orientation education is the need of hour. Employability or employment oriented education is the need of hour. Rural development should be focused more, or the rural entrepreneurship is the need of hour. Women entrepreneurship is also the need of hour, because women constitute about 50% population, and most of the women are working at home, so they can develop the home-based entrepreneurship. This is important. And mindset of the people should be changed. The entrepreneurship should get the respect in the society. That is the very, very important. If entrepreneur will not get the respect in the society, this problem will not be solved. So we see the entrepreneur as the respect. This is the very, very important. And so thank you so much for the organizer, the Padam Shri Institute of Management and Science, Bangalore, for giving me this opportunity to deliver my lecture in this 7-day FD development program on the entrepreneurship development. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for delivering an effective talk and explaining us the importance of entrepreneurship as a tool for the global development. Students or participants, if you have any doubts or queries, you can ask sir, or you can text in the text box.
Thank you so much, sir. It was
Thank you.
very informative, very informative. Students, any questions? I think there are no questions. So what do you suggest, sir, for students? They want to do.
For the students, I am suggesting that they should not only become the employment seeker, they should more focus on the employment creator also. They will get their own employment and they will give the employment to the others also. So they should, when they are doing the MBA or BTech or MTech like this education, uh, of course, searching employment is also good, but they should also try to create their own business, own startup, own business, which should be based on the low cost. From the low cost, they can start their business, and after some time, they will get the experience. So first of all, suppose after getting the degree knowledge, they focus on the skill, and they should do more and more the project work, and sometimes some years doing the job they will get the experience. In some years doing the job they will get the experience, then they should work for their own business. They should focus on the job creator, more job creator, that is the need of our. And they should try to increase their employability. Not only the bookish knowledge is not only sufficient. They should focus on the practical knowledge, the skill, and their attitude should be positive. Always thinks, I will do this, I will do this, I can do this. Be the part of the solution and not be the part of problem. Don't be the part of problem. Always try to be the part of solution, because solution is important. So this is my message to the students.
So the students should prepare themselves from the air education to become an entrepreneur. That's what you're saying. Nutana,
Yes, ma'am.
if there are no questions, I think we can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. On behalf of our college, I thank Dr. Mishra, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering the talk, sir. I also thank all the participants who actively participated and made this session successful. We have provided a feedback link in the text box. Please give us your valuable feedback. Let me tell you tomorrow's schedule. Tomorrow we have 2 sessions. Morning, we have a session on marketing management. It's at 10 o'clock. The talk will be delivered by Rajni Balaji ma'am. And the evening at 5:30 p.m., we have another session on women entrepreneurship, the challenges and the opportunities. The talk will be delivered by Aarti C. Neemkar ma'am. So do attend these sessions tomorrow and get benefited.
So there is a feedback link. Students, please give your valuable feedback. Thank you, sir. We'll be ending this session. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and you made yourself free and you have given this talk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this Padam Shri Institute of Management for providing me this chance, this opportunity. I feel happy to be the part of this faculty development program, 7 days. So thanks all the participants, all the staffs, all the faculties, and all the participants, delegates from the different parts. So thanks all of you. Thanks the organizing committee again.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope everyone has given their feedback. I'll be ending this session. See you tomorrow at 10:30, I think. 10:30.
10, ma'am. 10 o'clock.
Okay, 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
So have a great evening and good night to everyone.